Hello and welcome to Stretford Paddock. This podcast is brought to you by Surfshark VPN. Now more than ever, our internet reliance is increasing, from talking to loved ones, to streaming your favourite shows, to watching any of the podcasts here on Stretford Paddock. And with that increased footprint, so does our need for proper internet security. And Surfshark is a VPN service that encrypts your data, which stops anyone unwanted from seeing it. Another great thing about Surfshark is it allows you to see all of the great content from around the world. Simply sign in to Brazil and check out their Netflix. You can watch Croatian Amazon Prime. And when you're on holiday, you can still watch all of your shows from back home simply by changing it to your home nation. It is that simple. And currently Surfshark have an amazing deal. By clicking the link in the description and using our code Paddock, you can get a whole 3 months extra for free. That is 3 months extra for free. In addition, Surfshark also offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. Again, use that link in the description and use the code Paddock for 3 months for free and a 30-day money-back guarantee.
So
it's Frank Sinatra,
right,
via the power of AI, being Little Wayne.
Little
or
John.
Singing. Or Little John.
Little John and the Yin Yang Twins.
Yeah.
Hello.
we'll let Carl off because he's an old friend of the channel. I don't mean he's old. I mean he's a friend of the channel who's been on a lot. So we don't have to do that thing where me and you just chat and ignore the guests because we're not that fussed about him.
All right.
Because we like Carl. Not that we don't like our other guests.
Have you seen some others? There's been like remixes of like Tupac songs where they got Biggie to do them and the other way around. AI's wild, by the way.
You're all over this AI stuff.
Big time.
You like one of the
I'm going to
first-
replace 3/4 of my staff with it.
Oh, no.
Right.
That's not.
Okay.
Anyway.
Why?
Okay.
No.
Carl, before we get into the football talk,
Hello.
I need to ask you an important
In
question.
about 48 minutes.
Yeah. This is a very important question for me. Did you really think Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull was just mid?
No, it's terrible. For Christmas a couple of years ago, I said a couple of years ago, more than 10 years ago, I brought my brother the box set of all the films, but I removed the Crystal Skull. So he got there was like a gap. He was like, "Where's the other film? What other film?" And he just sort of nodded at me.
It's a trilogy. It's like
People did that with Rocky 5.
It's like Die Hard.
It's Rocky
Die
1,
Hard
2, 3, 4. And then
Sylvester Stallone did that with Rocky 5.
Yeah. He gave Rocky 5
that
1.
exist.
He gave it like 2 out of 10.
Yeah,
He said,
and then
why I made
Rocky Balboa
6.
was like, let's just pretend that film with Tommy Morrison didn't happen.
Don't make mistakes, Jay. Let's just fucking say it didn't.
I like that. What film?
No. What with Tommy Gunn?
Nope.
Tommy Gunn?
Sounds like an interesting concept. Maybe we'll write that down.
Yeah, never heard of it. Ryan Stibbles says, we love Carl Anka on this channel.
Who's
love
we,
Carl
son?
Anka. Yeah, it's Royal We, the editorial.
I got a question for you. Is The Rock shit as an actor?
No.
No, he needs to go outside his comfort zone because I keep watching him play the same role.
Yeah, he is a bigger version of Jason Statham.
Do you know what?
No, because Jason Statham's played against type. So the
Not
thing
much,
about
though.
the
Oh,
thing
so
about
what's
the
he doing,
Fast and
wearing a
Furious
suit?
films,
Being a Cockney?
I've got to be honest with you. The Rock gets a pass for me because of Moana.
yes,
My kids love Moana.
Great film.
And Maui is mint in that.
Yeah,
so
right, yeah.
I can... It's so hard to find a kids' film that you can sit and watch over and over.
Okay.
Which we did with Moana because my kids all loved it. And then I had other kids that got older. And
this
then
is what
the
I'm
younger
hearing
ones wanted to watch it.
with young dads who keep watching Bluey. They're saying Bluey is the tolerable
one,
whereas the other ones are a bit.
I've not, so that's getting added to my list.
But like Bluey is the good cartoon that you
that's
can
what you
have
need.
in
You
the
need a
backseat.
good cartoon.
Pixar and who's the other big studio? DreamWorks. They have done some genuinely like watchable shit that you can
genuinely watchable shit.
No, it's true because you get the ones, don't you? Where because all the kids want to watch the same film over and over.
Yeah.
And there's ones that are just
say
awful.
same film. I'm on about 19 runs of The Last Dance. I don't even like basketball.
Yeah, I've done like
So
10. I've done 10 runs of Last Dance.
It's watchable.
It's
That's the
very
mad thing.
good.
It's so like my missus came in last night and it's on, and I'm working on my laptop.
Yeah.
It's just on in the background. I'm not like glued to it.
Yeah.
But I'm taking it on board.
Do you know what? It's not a bad shout. I might watch it again tonight.
Go for it. What was
Yeah.
your
It's only
what,
10
was
hours
the,
long.
what was the film you used to watch loads as a kid?
Memphis Belle.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, lots.
See, not as a kid. I used to watch The Big Lebowski quite a lot
Strong.
when I was like late teens, early noughties.
I watched the Disney Robin Hood, where Robin Hood's a fox. I'd watch the VHS of that, rewind it all the way to the start, and then watch it again, and watch it twice.
Just watch
I
it.
did that with Rockies on VHS.
Strong.
Nailed that with the Rockies. Not five. Not five though. I'm gonna say
5 doesn't exist.
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I did it with the Rockies. I did it with 3 and 4,
Okay.
and mostly 4. If
Okay.
anything.
One of my good mates did his university dissertation on Rocky IV.
What was the title?
What?
And now Rocky IV is a very, very good example of Reaganite politics, both on and behind, both in front of and behind the camera. Because it's the one way ends the Cold War.
Yeah, I thought
It's the most Reaganite film.
I thought it was like
I
a
reckon
documentary.
If you put, is it not a documentary?
Like I thought you literally ended the Cold War. But that's why we don't have.
I reckon if you
Soviet Union
put
anymore.
300 and Rocky IV up side by side, it is the same political message.
Yeah.
Ooh, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. The strong survive. Things about heart and courage.
America wins.
Yeah, I'd say 300 is more nakedly nasty in its politics, whereas Rocky IV is still.
It was at the because one was in the Cold War, one was in the actual war.
Yeah.
One was at the height of the global war on terror.
Yeah,
We win it when I left.
But yeah, Rocky IV has a good place close to my heart.
Nicholas Walker says there are only 3 Fast and Furious films.
Interesting.
What, this year?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. How many is there actually?
Well,
no
so
idea.
Rocky,
Because isn't the Hobbs and
I stopped about.
Greavesy or whatever?
five is the best.
What?
I stopped a few anything. Is 5 the one where they're jumping across like the freeways where it's like on a big bridge?
It might have been. 5 is the one where they go to Brazil and do the heist, and the Rock is chasing them. So basically, 5 was meant to be the last one. It was meant to be a legitimate heist film, and it made so much money. They went, oh, let's keep making more Fast and Furious films. And now you're in
this is I go back full circle. This is why The Rock can just sling it. Like
I forgot he was even in that. Do you know the last Fast and Furious film I watched? He wasn't even in it.
But like, his probable best acting performance is Pain and Gain.
Yes, because he's playing against type, and also Pain and Gain was one of those weird films where it's not very obvious what the message is. It's like it's your man Michael Bay trying to do his version of Wolf of Wall Street, except you're not quite smart enough to pull this off. But I appreciate the effort.
I laughed so fucking hard at that. I watched it in the pictures with my mates, and then I watched it with my wife, and she didn't laugh once. And I'm like, "You're fucking boring. This is hilarious."
It's quite clever, but also very stupid. I enjoyed it. Mark Commode hated it, and Mark Commode hated it in one of those rare times where I don't think Mark Commode's got it.
Do you rate Mark Commode?
Oh, he's fantastic. He's one of the reasons I write for a living.
Really?
Yeah,
I love that.
Commode, Trevor Nelson, and there were 2 or 3 others at the BBC when I was like 15, 14. I sent emails going, I want to work in creative media, and they sent emails back going, well, young man, here's things you need to be aware of when you go off to university. And I was like, okay.
That's loads. I like that. I'm a big fan of journalists replying to you and sort of giving you advice and stuff like that. Loads of people getting in the chat and the comments. Someone's asked about football chat. We will get to it because we've got an actual guest here who knows a bit about football.
Yeah, but do you know what? I
So
think
we will.
Carl loves to live as off-road as we do.
I know, not derailing the entire podcast. We've already
We might
discussed it.
50-50 this one.
Brian Casey says he was brilliant in the other guys. Miles says The Rock is great in Get Shorty. Is that a remake? Or?
Oh no, that came out. That's
the original.
That's early Rock. So there was Be Cool, and then Get Short was one of the Rock's first big roles, like 2004.
Christina Milian in that.
Maybe.
So not the John Travolta one that I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's the sequel to that one.
The sequel. Right.
It's the sequel to
It
that
was
one.
like 25 years after.
That film is bad
'Cause I've seen
apart from the Rock in it, and the Rock is very charismatic.
I remember the John Travolta one. John Travolta's not made a good film in about 20 years, has he?
Oh, Hairspray was very good.
Right.
If you're into musicals.
I don't mind a musical, but he seems to have gone off the boil a bit.
He's in that Die Hard film with Kevin Hart in.
Is that any good, that?
I want to say that's John Travolta.
Is
He's
the
bold
Kevin
in
Hart
it,
film
so it's
any
very.
good?
It like threw me off
No.
in the poster.
Him and The Rock are doing the same thing.
They're in Jumanji
They're
together, aren't they?
stacking up the cash, to be fair
Yeah.
to them.
Yeah.
No, they found the system.
Well,
and it works for them.
do you know what I mean? If it works for you, it works for you. Swordfish, someone says. Yeah, Swordfish was like 20 years ago.
More than 20, man.
Yeah, so there you go.
Was it?
Is it your better half's birthday today?
Yeah.
Oh, happy birthday.
She's not here.
Lovely.
Mrs. Howson. Well, someone
Happy
said
birthday.
it in the chat. Ross Murphy. So, yeah. Well said.
She's not here, like.
Have you got a present and all that? Have you done all that?
Bought some clothes, because seeing as though you go, what do you want for your birthday? Clothes. Oh, okay.
Fair.
Right, okay.
Sure. Any
Can't go wrong,
plan?
can you?
Any dinner?
You know what I
Anything
mean?
for the weekend?
Well, just
Yeah,
money,
we're going to have some dinner or something.
money in a card usually works. Yeah? Do you know what I mean?
Blake's
Or-
into bath bombs.
Yeah.
So Blake's
Okay.
bought her like 6 bath bombs in a box. She's like, is this for me or you? And she's like, you.
That's the bad thing about when you have kids, though, isn't it? Especially when they're young, you have to buy presents from them to your missus. Right. And then it's like,
Yeah, you ask them what they want.
My
she's
mum
like,
said
"Get her a
the
unicorn
annoying
earring."
thing about having kids wasn't necessarily looking after me being a kid, but she was never quite sure what friends I'd bring back, going, oh God, having to play nice with someone else's kid was annoying. And then the other problem where playing nice with someone else's kid's parents, of just like, oh, my kids got on really well with this person at school, and then I have to talk to this parent
it's great.
all the time.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
And this parent is quite
So
boring.
you like that guy, like me in the playground. I'm tunnel vision. I rarely do the school, but when I do, I ain't chatting to anyone. I'm here to get my kids.
Not making no niceties to other
Do
parents.
you know what I mean? There's one or two that I already know anyway from sort of before my kids were at school. But we did a parents' evening at high school the other day, and you had to queue for all different seats, and it was horrible. It was horrible. Because you stood in the queue for like half an hour. The queue's
with
massive.
other adults, and they're trying to break small talk. And
Yeah,
just going,
and I'm like, I don't want to be rude, and like, my kid's got loads of skills, she knows their kids, and
Yep.
it's just like, well, I just want to leave me alone.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Like, let's do a deal. I won't make small talk with you, you don't make small talk, and we'll be all right.
Yeah.
Let's
See,
just stare into
I've
space.
watched like a young dad's podcast with you two, just talking about.
Are we young dads? We're not young dads.
You're being very kind there, Mr. Anka. I think I stopped being a young dad about 10 years ago.
Yeah, I'm not classed as a young dad when one of my kids works here.
Okay. Maybe if one of our kids had kids, we could get away with being young granddads. The young dads thing isn't
No.
this one. And that ain't going to happen with my kids for a long time,
No.
by the way. By the way, I just want to hasten to add there.
Yeah,
The fact they're all far
someone-
too young for that anyway.
There was the small talk at school. Blake's at a very, very small school. There's 14 kids there, and it's mega. There's ponies in the field next to it. There's ducks. There's a stream. It's idyllic, right? I don't know how the hell we found it. And she's in there, and it's beautiful, right? And one of the parents, like, they all talk to each other, and I do not engage in any of that small talk shit. I drop her off, I say see you later, and I get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
And then someone the other day asked me, have I got an exciting day planned? And I was so blindsided. I text you, I think, didn't I?
Yeah,
I can't remember
you
what I
did,
said I
you
would
did.
rather do.
Yeah,
It's probably not
me and you were
terrible.
on the same. I think you put it in the group chat, and the two dads in the group chat, me and him, were like on that straight away. Yeah, I feel your pain. I'm with you, and the other two just ignored it because it can get a bit much.
I think I'd rather be waterboarded.
Jesus.
Yeah, I think
Fatherhood.
Yeah, fatherhood. Don't let us put you off. It's all good.
Don't do it.
First of all, though, we are going to talk about football. I want to ask your question, your opinion on something.
Okay.
Both of you. Philip Jones is done. It's gone. It's over. It's the end of an era. How would you think he'll be remembered?
Kick it off, Carl. You're going to be really nice.
Go on.
I
I know. I'm curious because I think
It's
there's
a
bit of-
shame.
Go on.
It's a real
Go on
shame. There was. Phil Jones they've been poking fun at Phil Jones even when Phil Jones was playing football and was pretty good at playing football. And then he just became this easy punchline, and he couldn't defend himself because he couldn't play the sport. And I believe when he made his comeback game, as it were, against Wolverhampton Wanderers last season, you have that statistic where Phil Jones only trained with Bruno Fernandes like once or twice, which is absurd, right? And then, okay, in that January transfer window, I believe there was a bid from a team in France. It might have been Bordeaux.
There's some talk of DC United as well.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And he said no. And then that's it, right? It must be rehab for an athlete is agony because you are just trying the same thing over and over and over again to eke out a little bit of consistency from your body. And we know Phil Jones' injuries. He's probably spent quite a few times in the last 3 or 4 years, and it's been deeply painful for him to walk or run. Right? I don't think Phil Jones probably doesn't take the bus, but if Phil Jones is late for the bus, I don't think he would trust his own body to run for the bus.
Right.
And that's really sad. And yeah, look, okay, it became apparent before he has a lot of these injury problems that he probably wasn't United quality centre back or starting quality. But there's a human behind all of this, behind the shirt and whatever, and this human has had several years of just unimaginable sophistication and just pushing the boulder up the hill and keeps rolling down like, why can't my body react? Why can't my body react? And I think that's sad. Wish him well, and excited to see what he does next.
I told you Carl would be nice.
I'm guessing, Mr. Howson, that you don't quite share.
I might give you an
that
alternative
sympathy.
devil's advocate opinion.
All
on
right,
this.
give us your devil's advocate, which isn't obviously your opinion. You're just playing devil's advocate to
No,
Carl's
it's a little
sympathetic
bit my
one.
opinion. No, I definitely agree. He became a punching bag, seemingly unfair, and the memes were, all right, he pulls a funny face when he's editing stuff. He's heading stuff playing for Manchester United. And it was a time, especially under Ollie, where that winning run was built on the back of having Phil Jones. Phil Jones can actually play out from the back.
Yep.
There's something that people don't get.
The gap between Phil Jones and Harry Maguire, and please, I'm going to say good Harry Maguire. The gap between good Harry Maguire and good Phil Jones is not massive. You know, the things Harry Maguire is good at are 8 out of 10 at. Phil Jones is maybe a 7 out of 10 at. And the things Harry Maguire's good Harry Maguire is not so good at, he's probably 5 out of 10 at. I'd say Phil Jones is 5, maybe 4 out of 10. Like, the big difference between those two players is fitness and maybe a little bit of ball carrying. And again, good Harry Maguire.
Because I remember sort of Jose kicking off that England had Phil Jones taking injections to play. And that shows you where he was at. Jose was annoyed that he couldn't use Phil Jones.
Did he go to the Russian World Cup?
Yeah, he did.
Yep.
Yeah. Because
You know how annoyed Mourinho has to be that you're taking painkilling injections? Because Mourinho loves it when you play through the... one of the easiest ways to get complimented by Mourinho is if you play through the pain barrier, right? He complimented Lindelof for playing when he done his groin. He didn't like it when Smalling didn't take painkilling injections. And I think he also had a jab at Bailly for not choosing to take painkilling.
Didn't Lukaku get stick as well for the cup final?
He'll give you stick for not taking painkilling injections and then bring up the times John Terry took loads of painkilling injections. And I don't know how much football you've seen John Terry walk around the dugout, but he's not walking like a man of his age should be walking. John Terry has to do a lot of yoga because his hips and whatever is...
Fuck John Terry.
Got far more sympathy for Jones than I've just said.
Taking painkilling injections is, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, basically. So if Mourinho is annoyed that you took painkilling injections, that means your body must be really in a bad way.
I think it's half the reason Real's fucked at the minute.
Really? Because of...
Yeah, his back's in an absolute shit state. All the people are like, can he come do 5 minutes in the charity game? He's like, absolutely not.
Can't do
it.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That goes to show. So, KMD Lopper says a prime Maguire could not lace pre-injury Phil Jones's boots. He was different gravy in his first 2 seasons at United before his injury.
Nowhere close.
You were nowhere close to finishing.
Sorry.
So we were talking about the gap between...
Probably going to be leaving one in.
We're talking about the gap between Smalling, between Maguire and Jones, and I can't. Sorry.
Phil Jones was far better, and especially as a ball-playing centre half, than he gets the credit for. Mm-hmm. I think where the sympathy well runs dry, and part of this isn't his fault. Part of this he has to take some blame for himself a little bit. Is who the hell decided to extend his contract by 4 or 5 years a couple of years ago? That was madness.
That was very, very silly.
That was madness. Now that's not his fault, and I think all of us, if offered, probably would take that deal to stick around at Manchester United for another 4 or 5 years. About 2018, I think. It was early doors of Ollie because people say it was Ollie. It clearly wasn't Ollie.
February 2019, I think.
Okay, so that's
so he signed a contract. So obviously
that's interim Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Yeah. There's a picture of him and Ollie.
Yeah.
Signs a new contract until 2023. Obviously,
okay.
So it's just about to run out.
So, and also by the same rule, there was people that came in for him and he didn't want to go. I think the club has got a fair bit to blame on him here because the way the club loves content and the way the club loves stories and the way the club loves to put out PR. Why don't we know what's happened to Phil Jones? Why isn't there a story?
Steve's right. Isn't there like some intrigue? Didn't Ten Hag allude to the fact he didn't know what was going on at one point?
And then he's not got a locker, and he doesn't come to training. Like people see him at like some sports centre of Warrington kind of way doing stuff. And you're like, what's going on there? Yeah,
I think this is a case of Manchester United choosing to respect one party's wishes, which then accidentally creates intrigue / conspiracy theories from everyone else, because we all, those people want to know, is Phil Jones doing well? Especially when Maguire was during that dip of form and United fans were, we'll take anyone. Yeah. Please revive Phil Jones and maybe he can play. And then there was no conversation about Phil Jones. You'd go into those press conferences and ask about injury stuff.
Especially when he played a couple of games, didn't he? Who was that under? Was it under Ollie?
On the
Ragnick.
Yes.
Well, Wolves.
Yeah.
He played against
Liverpool. Played 2 back-to-back, didn't he?
Wolves and Liverpool.
And then he played, he got substituted at half-time against Liverpool, and he apparently was not very happy about that as well. And then
never played again.
For as far as we know.
Did he feature against Brentford? Or am I imagining that? Like the back end of last season.
I can't recall. As far as you know, he regressed again in the summer.
I know there's no requirement for people to tell us what their injuries are, and it's weird that we ask.
Yeah, he did. He came on as sub against Brentford.
Do you find it weird that we ask about people's medical history in press conferences, but we do it. It's almost like an accepted weirdism that we allow that.
I think this could be based on nothing. I think that agreement that one of the very first questions you ask the manager, who's fit and who's not, and they pretty much have to tell you the truth, has more to do with people who want to spend money on games of football rather than the kindness of everyone's heart, which is one of those weird, like, oh yeah, weird. But yeah, I agree, it is weird. The first question we asked is, how fresh are your young boys? Are they good?
We were saying,
can they run?
What can you tell me the medical history of your staff, please?
Yeah.
We were saying, we were chatting before.
He's got a boil on his arse.
Fergie didn't take questions.
No.
Well, we did eventually, but he used to come and sit down and just speak what he wanted to tell you. So he'd say, like, Giggs is, 50-50, Rio's fit, Tom Cleverley's not going to feature, and, Newcastle are a good team, we're going to get a tough game, I'm looking forward to it though, and I expect 3 points. So every question after that is just going to annoy him.
Yeah.
Because he's already said what he wants to say.
Ten Hag this season has barely mentioned Phil Jones in the way that when someone has a long-standing injury, you don't really mention them every single week and say so-and-so is still injured. You just mention the time they're coming back. So if you, again, this could be putting 2 and 2 together and getting 22, but this could just be Eric Ten Hag, like, that person hasn't been nowhere near close to match fitness.
They got rid of him out of the first team locker room, didn't they? So
I've not heard of that.
that was, I want to say that was summer.
Right, okay. Yeah, I mean, there's somewhere in between here. There's a part of me that I'm with you. I feel sorry for him. Some of the stick he was getting was unfair. Was it Twitter tweeted, name me a better player, name us a better player than Phil Jones and stuff like that. It's like, there's no need for that.
One of the big
Some
ones
of the
is
stuff that was going on. And also, I don't like rival fans having a dig. It sort of
rival
makes
fans
me
having
want
a
to stick
dig
up
is
for him.
weird.
Do you know what I mean? When I'm like, all right, he's still won as many Premier Leagues as Liverpool have.
And the big one was also that gif of him heading the ball away against Olivier Giroud, which is good defending. Right, he's ran out. He's fallen over. He's ran out of options. He needs to get the ball away from Giroud, and he's gone. All right, I'll put my bonds here, when most defenders would probably give up.
There's a clip of James Milner not knowing what to do and just nuts a ball that's on the floor instead of using anything. And I don't see any of that going around.
There's one of John Terry where he tried to do that, and the ball's miles away from him, and it just looks ridiculous in the Euros.
Phil Jones is the victim of a number of phenomena. One, fitness problems. Another problem is, as we've all got smartphones now, and we're making GIFs and comps and whatever, it's never been easier to look embarrassed as a defender, right? And a lot of us don't play in defence or don't want to play in defence, right? Even when I play five-a-side, even when you drop me back, I'm going to start charging forward because I want to score goals.
There's a young lad. Hey, I only go in defence now. I'm at five-a-side. That's me.
Everyone wants to score some goals.
I'll go centre half.
And
I'm going to boot anything.
And the understanding of defending and what makes a good defender is still pretty poor, right? Because we still really, really like flashy tackles rather than a smart defender who just goes man on. Move left and move right, so you don't have to track back 35 yards. So Jones has this unfortunate problem where he's barely fit. He sometimes gets embarrassed because he's not the quickest, and then there are times where even when he makes the right decision, he looks stupid.
I'm not even saying quite expressive faces when he's doing shit.
He looks
anything. I imagine if you ask him to sign his name, he'd be like.
And this is the time where when Gen Z millennials go, oh, that's really cringe. Oh, I don't want to do that because that's really cringe. Here comes Phil Jones, who doesn't mind embarrassing himself to defend. It's a real English centre-back thing. Loads of English centre-backs don't mind looking embarrassed when they defend. Maguire looks...
Not sure that's what he's setting out to do.
He's not meant to look embarrassed.
Consequence of what's
you make a great point, though, because there was all those images when they were pulling his face, the Aguero near post goal, him looking shots, which, what's he meant to do?
And there's that thing of, what's Phil Jones doing on corners? Maybe because he's got a good... He's pretty good at ball striking the ball, right? And that's one of those things that is is Phil Jones' situation a good indictment of the Woodward era? Yeah, kind of, because you get some very well-meaning, big-chested, big-hearted people who are being put in uncomfortable positions because no one above them knows any better. Why is Phil Jones on corners? Because someone hasn't gone, mate, no.
Yeah,
we got someone else better. You will take you out the firing line, and I think that's been the problem of a lot of the Woodward era of Manchester United.
Keane on the pitch, would you? He wouldn't have just gone, yeah, Phil, you take this one. Like, what are you doing? Get over here. Get away from there, you. Like, pat that in. We didn't have anyone in that era.
It's a shame.
But let's not go too far and memorialise a career that never was or anything like that. There's injured players, happens all the time, and I saw the message this morning. I don't wish him any ill whatsoever. Respect for the fact that he was a footballer that played for Manchester United. You get that just as a gimme. but I would like to know what the hell's going on. I'm not entitled to know that, obviously, but I would like to know. Like that message said nothing. It said thanks to the fans, Fergie was tops, laters. But it didn't. So now what? Am I still working on getting fit? Am I working on getting fit? Have I retired?
I think
he quit at the trial on the 24th of June. Like, what's the crack?
Yeah, he did.
I mean, just wait and see.
We'll wait and see. I mean, listen, no matter what, he still scored one of the greatest own goals I've ever seen. That one against Valencia. Shrugs off his man, opens up his body.
But yeah, it was a good
on,
goal.
Man, that was poetry. So we'll always have that. There's a few people in the chat. Alex Hill says, "Hi guys, please could Carl explain why he isn't a fan of Vlahović? In my opinion, he should be regarded as Kane and Osimhen, and with Juve's problems, could be a snip."
No, he's not that good. He's not good on the same level as Harry Kane. He's not a good link-up player as Harry Kane. He's not as aerially dominant as Victor Osimhen. This is going to sound stupid.
Not on this podcast.
Vlahović
Nothing sounds stupid on this podcast.
When Vlahović is more in common with Jermaine Defoe in terms of being absolutely dominant inside the penalty area, but not being as good as he moves further away from the penalty box than he does with the Kane or Victor Osimhen.
I'll take Jermaine Defoe right now.
If
Manchester 45,
as he is, still got it, hasn't he?
I mean, Jermaine Defoe was excellent at attacking the near post.
He was the cheat code in the UNICEF game, wasn't he? Remember? When
Real quiz.
He was. He just came on and just scored a load of goals.
Jermaine Defoe is really good to talk about goal scoring because, by his own admission, he says, "I wasn't like top, so I had to work the angles and look for inefficiencies everywhere," which is why he's so good. It was why he was so good at attacking near post, and because it wasn't innate and it was worked on. He's very good at coaching it into others. He's very good at going, all right, you need to do this and this and this. There's been 3 or 4 when he was at Rangers. There was 3 or 4 seminars he gave to the academy kids, and the academy kids were like, I can't believe that's how you score goals. That's amazing. So yeah, Jermaine Defoe, very, very good coach. Pretty good at telling you how to attack the near post. Kind of has a lot in common with Dusan Vlahović. Go ask Juventus fans why they don't really like Dusan Vlahović, because they say he's really good in the penalty area, but you need someone else to do other things.
And we're not like, I know we do create chances, but we're not like firing loads of crosses into the box, are we? We've not got wingers who are going, right, I'm going to whip this one in for your son.
Yeah.
Most of it's like Anthony's trying to get his shot off, Garnacho's trying to get his shot off, or Sancho's cutting inside. It's like
I mean, that's one of the consequences of modern football is that every forward, all 3 of them are trying to create for themselves.
Yeah, and I don't know if someone's just in the box.
Every single transfer decision Manchester United make this summer should be made with a question of, does this turn us into title winners in 3 years? When Ten Hag's contract is up for renewal or whatever. And if the answer is no, do not do it. So Sabitzer, Weghorst, which striker you should get. The question should always be, will this get us from where we are now to getting the 89, 92 points that you need to win a Premier League season in 3 years?
You have to close the weaknesses. So what's the weaknesses? Can't win a game away from home. Haven't got a striker. Fix those 2. Champions. Next question.
I love it.
Alex Bailey says, all I remember is Jones. He has more Premier League medals than Gerrard and Carragher. Well said. Isham El Said says, also a victim of his own versatility. Played DM, right back, centre back in his teams because he was a ball playing defender. A talent lost when Fergie left. Sam Z said, Carl, your opinion on Gonçalo Ramos to United?
You just want me to write a whole athletic article for you right now. He's good. He's nice. He doesn't.
You can be brief for us.
He's good. He's nice. He doesn't move me in the same way that Kane and Victor Osimhen does. But that's because those 2 are top.
I genuinely don't think United signed him because of his Twitter video.
Which one?
The one where he's ripping the head off it.
And
I have no idea what he's talking about.
Poorer for the
There is
approach.
A video of Gonçalo Ramos pleasuring himself, which is all over the internet.
Well, there you go.
I reckon that is a sort of thing that stops United signing a player.
I'm watching it now. I have been since we sat down.
Okay.
Yeah. The Takeover Saga.
But that for later.
Yeah, it's there. The Takeover Saga.
What saga?
Yeah, it's not a saga. It's all been dealt with. You know, the Glazers did their statement. Bidders come in. They've accepted an offer. Hooray, we've got new owners at Manchester United. Now focus on the transfer window.
And they're absolutely signed, right? Sound.
Yeah.
No skeletons.
No skeletons. It's all sweet. There's nothing to worry about. Everything's happy. Just the way we wanted it.
All right, move on then.
Carl, is there any light at the end of this tunnel or what?
No, it's a fucking train.
Is there any light at the end of this tunnel? Yes, there is some light. Pulling your face.
Squinting. Just
Squinting,
about
not-
getting your
this is meant to be.
helicopter, your telescope
We thought
out.
this would be done by the end of
Confuse them
Q1.
words.
We thought this would be done by the end of Q1.
Did you genuinely? Did you think that?
Well, that's what they
When you
said.
say we,
Did I genuinely believe it? No,
Right,
because, and I've said this before on loads of different things. We're dealing with billionaires, and billionaires just think differently because once you have that much money, it just fries. It alters the way your brain works, right? If I'm going down to London for the weekend, I'll probably stay at a mate's house. Gary Neville was a millionaire. If he goes down for the weekend, he'll probably stay at a nice hotel. If a billionaire goes down for the weekend, he gets on a private jet and probably rents out the floor of a thing. Right?
Yeah.
And if he says, "Oh, London's a bit cold, I fancy going somewhere else," he just goes somewhere else. But billionaires do not do decisions in the same way we do decisions because that money.
It's a good point. It's an obvious point, but you're right, and I think that
Yeah.
gets lost sometimes, doesn't it?
Won't someone think of the billionaires?
I know.
And when we are looking at the Man United takeover stuff, it's very important to look at the billionaires and their names and their information and also how they earn their billions because that will most likely show you what they want to do next. And I've said this before, Todd Bowley made all of his money in tech. He was a disruptor, came to Chelsea and he's like, how do I disrupt? No one's done 8-year contracts before. Ooh, hey.
No one spent about $500 million on
Right,
shit.
and
Send
like,
half a billion to finish 12th.
Bowley earned his money by trying to spot things no one's ever, by trying things people have never done before.
Well, it's
and
continued
Bowley's
doing
Bowley consistently was a person who, if you came up to him with a good idea and said it'll cost you 10 grand, but maybe I'll get you 15 grand in 6 months, we'll give you the 10 grand. Whereas the Glazers,
I really need his phone number.
I'm surprised you've not got it yet.
I am trying.
The amount of bloody numbers you have got.
I am trying.
the Glazers originally earned their money in real estate and real estate of commercial buildings. So they used to buy shopping malls, right?
Yeah, and then running them into the bastard ground and just sitting on them for decades.
You've said that bit, but they would buy.
Love that.
They'd buy shopping malls, they'd collect residual rent, and that's how they'd earn their money. And that's how they're essentially running Manchester United.
Yeah, like
To
a
a
fucking
degree.
busted flush shopping mall in Florida.
Again, you've said that. So you've got
He'll say it, don't worry.
you've got one group of billionaires that are fans of, let's say, slower, safe, comfortable money.
Yeah.
And they have a price point, and they very much would like to reach that price point, and there's not a hard deadline in the same way there was a hard deadline for Chelsea. Right?
Yeah.
So the Rain Group took care of the Chelsea takeover, and the deadline was, well, if you don't sell Chelsea,
The government's going to take it off you, basically.
right?
Yeah.
I don't think that we've even wrapped our head around how mental that was.
The government went, you better
Yeah.
sell this.
I don't think
You can't be mates with Putin and we're taking your club.
Yeah.
Done.
it's
Yeah.
What's that? It's $1 billion out of United. Yeah, keep
Don't
doing
worry
it.
about
Right.
it. Crack
So-
on. Take your time.
So
be
that's the
mates with
main
the guy.
difference. That's the main difference between the Rain Group selling Chelsea. Well, one of the main differences between Rain Group selling Chelsea and this difference here. Then you've got Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who is, I mean, you can look at how he's running the Ineos Cycling Group and what he's done since, you know, the people, what was used to be Team Sky rebranded it, or what he's done with Nice. And he is I still can't quite get a feel for him and how he likes to run his businesses, but it's not as transparent as, say, other billionaires or whatnot. And then you've got Sheikh Yassim, who, and the only way I can put this to you is, Jay, how old is Sheikh Yassim?
Carl, we don't know if he's real.
Yeah, I don't know. 37?
I don't know how old this man is.
See, we've gone full circle. From the sweat dripping off my balls, we are straight back in AI. Sheikh Jassim might be AI.
I'm not.
I refuse to believe. I've seen 2 pictures of him.
I've seen 3.
I've seen more of Godzilla.
So
Your move.
So we've got a situation where the Rain Group are trying to replicate to a degree what happened with the Chelsea takeover, but they don't have the hard deadline that helped that. You've got a Glazer group that clearly are open for business but have a price point that they would like it to be reached, and this is why we keep having a new final deadline and a new final deadline and a new final deadline,
Yeah.
because it feels as if, and again, this could be me slightly editorializing and putting 2 together and getting 22, but it feels like that price point isn't being hit, which makes it really strange. Why aren't these 2 bidders hitting that price point after the 3rd attempt? And I don't know the answer to that. I think we're getting closer with every bidding process.
Yeah.
And eventually, you know, that gap will hit a point where a deal will be done. I don't know if that gap's going to be hit in the next week and a half.
Just in
or if
time
it's gonna
for Garnacho's testimonial.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. it just seems like whenever you think, right, this is it. Like last week, it did seem like we were getting a bit of movement.
Final deadline.
Yeah, and then no, it's
2.0.
not. 11th hour bid.
V1 final.
Yeah.
Final for real this time.
Henry Winter said it's not the 11th hour. Like it's gonna. We had him on the channel the other day, and he's like, it's gonna carry on. This isn't the last minute. There's lots. There's a long way to go.
Henry sometimes lies to us.
I know. Just come on, just say yeah, it's all done. Everything's gonna be mint.
It's done. Be sound.
I know this is a really stupid question, but I'll ask you anyway. What's this do for our transfer window then in the summer? Because we don't even know how much money we've got to do.
Laurie Whitwell. Hi, Laurie. How you doing?
Laurie.
At this time on a Friday, he is drinking.
No. We might
for 2.5 hours.
Laurie wrote not too long ago that Manchester United might be 100 million plus sales. Might be 100 million plus sales. And I reported not too long after the Europa League defeat that Manchester United are thought to be readying a large squad overhaul. Now, you look at Phil Jones is one member of that squad overhaul. Someone else in that will be Axel Twins. Zabi is also who will also be Axel Twins. Zabi is out of contract. Then you've got players then you've got players like Eric Bailly's on loan at Marseille, Alex Telles is on loan at Sevilla. Those are two players that perhaps could be moved on. You've got there's backup fullbacks and whatnot.
Fuck me.
I'm not filling you with any confidence, am I?
I'm sorry. We need to stop having journalists on it. They just tell us things we don't want to hear. Can we not just start getting just proper clips?
I think the interesting thing is
what you want.
Eric Ten Hag's been asked about his plans for the summer. Do you have plans for the summer? Do you know?
No, I'm going to wing it. What the fuck sort of question? That's why I need to be at them press conferences. The question was,
are you factoring in words to the effect of are you factoring a takeover into your transfer? Do you have plan A? Nothing changes. You've got this budget. Plan B, this group takes over, and you've got this budget. And plan C, you've got this. And Ten Hag was just like, well, I'm still not sure. I do have plans, but it's hard to sort of action because we don't know.
We need a big transfer window, don't we? Really, we need to splash the cash, and I just can't see.
There is a version of events where
Uh,
City get done by the FA and simultaneously.
Yeah, that'd be great. We can just sit down, not do anything, and get handed all the titles.
Let's run with the thing that's been reported. 100 million plus.
Someone's just said this, Carl. Just before you say that, someone's just said. I need to find it. The work. Someone basically saying the work you're doing to be balanced and professional is astounding. So please continue. As me and him just chat nonsense.
Let's use the version that we know. The 100 million plus sales.
Find your weaknesses.
100 million plus sales. You got to get a. All right. So you say you got to fix the goals. So you need 100 million plus sales. So let's put all that 100 million towards a striker.
Okay, makes sense. Now we're cooking.
All right, and then plus sales.
Then he gets injured.
Yeah.
So and then you got to fill everyone plus sales. So let's say so you get Jones's wages off your books, Tuanzebe's wages off your books. Let's say Bailly and Telles, you get them off your books. You've got 7 wide players now that can attack. So let's say you sell one of those.
Yeah.
You've got 3 left backs currently at the club. Let's say you sell one of those.
Yep.
You've got 2 right backs. You probably want to keep your right backs. You've got two goalkeepers that are first team quality. So you sell one of those.
Aaron Maguire's going.
And we'll
is my gut feeling.
Okay, yeah. Fine. We'll include Maguire in that too. So that is maybe
relatively sellable asset.
That's what.
And I actually genuinely think he would be good for a team that's 10th down.
Okay. Yeah.
So anyone playing off the back foot. I think
so. Playing this hypothetical game, you move on all those players. You probably saved yourself 6 million by not having Ronaldo on your books as well. So you've got maybe 100 million that we know. You're putting all that towards a striker on the table, boom, and then you've got player sales. And let's pretend Manchester United are very good at player sales and get all these done by late June. That's 50 million, 60 million?
Oh, I think you can get 80 with all of them.
Okay,
I think
80 million. All right, so you've sorted out your striker problem.
If you move on Sancho, you might get to 110, 20, 30.
We just picked one. We just said a wide player. So we'll pretend that's 80 million. So 100 million on the striker, 80 million. You've got to get
a new sleeve sponsor, Althani Taxis, right? That pay us $2 billion a season. And FFP can go fuck itself like Manchester City.
So 100 million on your striker, 80 million on player sales. 80 million on player sales. What areas do you think United need to fill? other than a striker? Just 100 million is
I made this argument, and so many people got mad with it. But I think someone like a Sabitzer for depth is like a proper must-do, because I don't think it'd cost a lot. I think you already know the attitude and everything. But like people, but the fee would cost the same. He wouldn't, because United ring up and it don't cost the same, and you don't know the character's going to fit. At least with Sabitzer, you know what you're going to get.
I wouldn't keep Sabitzer.
I was going to say you didn't.
I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go.
Someone like Sabitzer, yes. Sabitzer himself, no.
Okay.
Is it the goatee?
So I mean, I love the fact he looks like a Zorro side character or a Musketeer side character. So you want centre midfield backup. Any other positions you want filled?
Yeah, I think you probably bring in a centre half if you let Maguire go, because if you're talking about first team available choices, not sure what's going to happen with Mengi. Probably time for a loan. We're going to just get him back over his injury. You let Maguire go. You have Varane, who's 60-70% of the season. You could probably rely on him, but you're going to need backup. And then I think you need someone, maybe someone older or very young. I don't think you need another prime centre-half.
Okay, so this centre-half you're shopping for, is that centre-half going to be ahead of Lindelof in the queue or behind him?
I would think ahead, depending on the profile or age.
Okay, so...
But I don't think it matters.
Okay, so
it's just another one.
So you want central midfield backup, you want centre-back-ish backup. Any other positions?
It might be, it could even be someone, like the rumours of Kim Min-jae seem to be really picking up, and I don't know if that's just because there's nothing else to talk about. If you got a Kim Min-jae, I think that there's an argument to be made that on certain occasions he would be selected over Varane.
Yes.
And I don't think that's necessarily the worst idea. It might also give you the tactical flexibility to switch to a back three, which he might want to do at times. Maybe that's his option for playing away or in Europe.
Okay. Any other positions you want to fill in there?
I think a backup striker.
I agree.
Okay, so
I think we need two strikers.
So that's three positions. You've got three positions you want to fill with 80 million.
Hence why you're getting Sabitzer
with 80 million. You can do that if you're shit hot and competent at what you're.
What about if you shit?
Exactly like
if you just shit.
Exactly like
right.
Because
we are shit. So this is transfers. So is there any scope for us doing that?
This is just shit.
Forget the hot bit.
This is the difficulty in that 100 million plus sales, you can have a good window if you know what you're doing.
Yeah,
and if you know what you're doing, you've got proper alignment.
You keep adding these caveats that don't apply to us. We don't know what we're doing. Right. We're not shit hot. We're not good at sales. We don't make good deals. That's the issue.
And his fucking good ideas over to one side. We're going to get Althani taxis in.
Now, Carl. You're not at Southampton anymore, kid.
Althani taxis, 2 billion, sign everyone.
Here's a question for you and to everyone out there.
Or Ineos taxis. I don't care. Just...
Okay, let's imagine another scenario where the takeover happens and whoever takes over goes, here you go, Mr. Ten Hag, you have a war chest of 350 million. Let's pretend that happens.
Right, that seems reasonable. That's
Jay's going to start Googling, can you masturbate in the street?
Even with that 350...
Apparently you can't.
Okay, I'm going to thought-provoking question. United have 350 million to spend in the summer window. Do you think a striker turns up before or after their US tour?
Ooh.
Your face.
It depends how far along the club have been.
He's thrown us here. He's turned the tables on us. Hey.
Before. Okay.
I mean,
end of July.
Considering how quick this all needs to get wrapped up, they might have the striker nailed, and that extra couple of 100 million might be filling in the extra gaps that they were planning on kicking down the road. If you get 350 million, you might say goodbye to David De Gea. And you might spend 70, 80 million.
I think you would. If you have that kind of money, I think you do.
Okay.
I do. I think the goalkeeper
gets changed. I think you've got to prioritise, and I don't think you're prioritising goalkeeper situation this summer, hence why he's got a new contract.
Yep, but this is the difficult thing. I agree in terms of the hypotheticals, not I agreeing.
No, I know you've thrown up a lot of hypotheticals there.
But that was a lot of hypotheticals then, and it just
I'm going to change his name to Carl Anka Asterix.
Carl Anka,
maybe.
Carl Anka footnote.
If this could happen. I mean, in an ideal world, a lot of what you said in terms of sales would be great, but I see another scenario where Harry Maguire goes for 8 million, or Sancho goes for 20, or Martial goes on a free, and it's just like, you're like...
How is Martial going on a free? His contract's not up till next...
Because we're Manchester United, they're talking about the things, kind of things we do.
Manchester United,
we'll just go...
Find a new rate
let's just give him away to someone.
Fair enough.
Why are you doing that?
Free to a good home.
Yeah, exactly, like it's your dog you don't want anymore. Okay. It's like, that's the kind of thing that Manchester United do. Do you know what I mean? We'll buy, the Romelu Lukaku's and the Di Marias and all that lot for big money and then sell them for a loss a season or two later.
Cheers,
it's kind of our thing. So there is that worry that we sell all these players, a lot of them who have a bit of resale value as well, and we end up with like 34 million after it all.
Yeah.
And
You sell
nothing
all
left
you
to
sell all the
sell.
players, and you go, "Do you know that buffet you had last night?"
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Peter Kelly in the Super Chat has been a member of the Academy for 34 months, says, I think Lautaro Martinez from Inter would be a decent signing. With Inter's financial issues, get Martinez, Costa, Kim Min-jae,
What
Frimpong,
financial issues? Going to be
and-
European champions in about 3 weeks.
Oh my God. If Inter win the Champions League, I'm going to celebrate that harder than I
Romelu
celebrate
Lukaku,
99.
my hand is touching your hand right now. And I'm telling you, they were saying mean things about you during that World Cup. And I know you think you're as good as Karim Benzema. Today begins the process.
Oh my God, can you imagine? After all the memes and
Reach
everything,
out.
the
You
on
can do
loan
this.
Chelsea player
You can
scores
do
the
this,
winner
Lukaku.
against them.
I want to cry, though. This makes me want to cry.
Think about it.
Is this
It's
what we've
the
come
most
to?
Todd Boehly thing.
Is this what we've come
Todd
to?
Boehly's got a player out
Right.
on loan that wins the Champions League. Meanwhile, he's 12th with Lampard.
The interesting thing is, if
Sat here hoping that
Lu-
Romelu Lukaku's going to stop
if
doing a
Lukaku-
treble.
If we all believe enough.
I nearly fell off the desk.
If we all believe
Man City don't
enough.
often play teams that go to up top. It's me rocking back
This
and
is
forth.
genuinely
saying-
like the seventh circle of hell. What is going on? Our future lies with Matteo Darmian and Romelu Lukaku.
It was all part of the master plan, Jay.
All part of
Preceded. I'm going to send these off to Italy.
Oh my
We
God.
even sent Ashley Young there for a season just to
Little
sort of
tune
put
up.
some
Yeah. Tune up.
All right. Let's
Thank
drink
you,
the
Ashley.
Kool-Aid. It's going to happen. Nathan Bentley says, I think the damage has been done. Even if we have competent people doing transfer deals, past signings have already set the tone. There you go.
No.
Basically
Oh, and Mkhitaryan, sorry, I forgot. Yeah, Mkhitaryan,
Mkhitaryan's
the
in
guy
there
we
too.
gave to Arsenal for Alexis Sanchez. He's the other saviour that we've got
What
to
a deal
pin our
that was, by
hopes
the
on.
way. What a deal that was. Imagine being the Arsenal end of that. If they wouldn't have known he was going to turn out to be the absolute sack of shit that he was, but can you imagine?
Hey.
At Arsenal.
Mickey.
At Arsenal. I like Mkhitaryan, but he wasn't great at Arsenal, was he?
No, he wasn't.
That
I'm
was,
talking about
that was one of
Sanchez.
those. Oh, sorry. Well, that was one of those swap deals where
Everyone lost.
Like everyone got a duffer, and then it was like, how have we ended up with this when
Do
this
you know
player
one?
has done bits?
Sanchez's accountant.
That's a very good. Do you know who won on that one?
And his
Manchester
dogs.
City.
Yeah.
Because they were going to get him, and we got him, didn't we? Nicholas Walker says, we found out about Kane, and if he comes after how he is after Spurs' last home game tomorrow, Toney be an option in January, I'm all for that, if we make him aware we want him. I'd have Ivan Toney in January.
Bet you would.
Why?
What's that meant to mean? Bet you would.
Just trying to throw a
nice,
pun in.
nice, yeah. I'll give you good odds on that one.
But why?
I have a theory,
Funny.
right? Because he'll be cheap. He won't have that long left on his contract. He won't have played for 8 months. so
Much
he can
like
be cheap.
Gonçalo Ramos.
Yeah, so he fits the bill of
United
United
won't go
signings.
So he's cheap.
Yeah, he's a Vote Vegels type, innit? He'll come in January.
He's better than Vote
No, that's what I mean though. But he's cheap. Comes in January
Does the
when
job.
we'll need someone, so he can be a backup striker. And also, he's still relatively, it's like 27. He's not done, and he can score in the Premier League, and he can take free kicks, and he can score penalties.
He's not allowed to train.
Well, they can't stop him training in his house, can they?
He
with his
can't.
mates
He's not
in
allowed
his
to do
garden?
football-related activities.
I'm sure, like,
So if he's playing FIFA at home, they're going to kick his door.
What are you doing running around your garden? I've just been looking at your Strava, and it says here you've been running around your garden. Why?
I mean, Thomas Frank this morning said he's still not quite sure about how all this is going to play out, and
I think as well appeal. Maybe he gets it knocked down for 4 months.
United
Be
won't.
all right.
United won't touch a player that's been out for gambling like that.
I don't know, man. I think we'd be mad not to. That's my take.
Can I ask a question for you?
Of course you can, Carl.
Where's good for Brazilian people to hang out in Manchester?
I wasn't expecting that question. I'll give you that one.
Yeah, that's top 3 weirdest questions I've had today,
Yeah,
and I get a
yeah.
lot of
Where-
questions.
You do get
where-
a lot of strange
Well,
questions.
think about it. Manchester United have a couple of Brazilian players now. Right.
Ben Brazil?
No, that's so obvious.
Well, I'm sorry.
That's shit, Jay. That's shit. You're better than that. That is
not.
shit.
All right,
That's
Greggs.
literally like, hey,
Greggs, yeah.
I'm in San Francisco. Where should I go? Well, there's a pub called Manchester. They're like, no, fuck off. I don't want to see that. Yeah, Greggs.
Greggs. Trafford Centre.
Greggs and Trafford Centre.
No,
Yeah.
don't go
Good.
Trafford Centre.
Excellent.
Because it's basically going to Liverpool.
Oh,
What was that?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of people.
They go on
wearing-
holiday, don't they?
People wearing Liverpool tops and, that sort of thing.
Fair enough.
It's like a day out for them.
I seen one of them in Eccles Morrison's the other day. Guy walking around Liverpool top. I was fuming.
What are we doing here?
What's this? Are we at
Just
Anfield
asking
now?
other-
Hey?
Liberties!
Hey? Am I in the wrong town here or what? What's going on? Why have I got to leave? Why can't he leave?
So I'm going to have to be the one that hits him. Right.
Fine. Samuel Emery says spoons. There's a good one for you.
Cheers.
Brazilians. If you give him a shout, let him know.
Yeah, take him.
Oh,
this one, just
Santa
on the corner
Knox
on the
says-
front here. Jesus.
Send him to Stretford Mall. Stretford, Arndale. But yeah, there's a good one.
2 Gregs in that.
Okay.
Still got a W.H. Smith in there.
I haven't been for a long time.
I got lost in there when I was a kid and had to put a Tannoy announcement on.
Jay,
My mum-
it's in
my
the
mum
shape
was-
of a H.
My mum was
Human.
fuming.
It's in the shape of a H. This office is almost the same size.
You got lost in the book. Fair.
Yeah,
Look,
I was only about
it was
4.
yeah,
Do you know what I
it's
mean?
fine,
Like,
it's fine.
I
It's
mean,
like
to be
saying
fair,
I got lost in my own bathroom.
I got lost there when I was like 27 as well, but that's to put a salary announcement out for that one as well. Someone can collect him.
Why are you asking for Brazilians again?
Just trying to write pieces about the vibes.
That's the fucking Athletic, innit? I forgot.
I'm surprised you're not flying over to Brazil to spend 6 months over there.
Mitten is.
To write, yeah.
Mitten's
Andy
already
Mitten in
there.
it.
He's done that leg.
Right.
Carl's got to do the bit at Stretford Mall.
Yeah, Andy will get the Brazilian perspective. He's in Rio de Janeiro and you're in Stretford Arndale.
Yeah, no, I guarantee
A combined article.
This being the Athletic, there's definitely some sort of Brazilian butchers in the Manchester area that you could go and visit.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to hunt down.
I'm sorry, you're asking the wrong people.
I'm just,
we're not
Just
very
let me know.
well cultured.
If you know, let
But
me know.
like, I think if you go and visit in somewhere, like, you don't go to the thing that's like where you're from. You go and visit the thing that it's known for, or that place is about.
Okay, yeah. Like,
You know what I mean?
yeah, when I went abroad, I went to I didn't go Greg's, I went Nando's. Do you know what I mean?
When I went to Barcelona, I went to KFC. I
Yeah.
walked straight past the Sangria for me to
I
go
went-
to KFC
I
because
went-
I was really stressed out. I was like,
Yeah.
I just
Well,
need some food that I know.
I think I went Burger King in Barcelona.
I fucking hate the Perrier. What are you doing?
Look, I had Padron peppers
Well,
afterwards.
I don't go
but-
Burger King in Manchester, so it was it was a bit of a you know,
Oh,
it was
that's
something different.
hamburger Acer.
Hamburguesa.
Hey, you pay for this in euros.
Fucking get a grip.
I'm sorry. Right, Carl, always a pleasure having you on the channel. Good stuff. And you did well to ignore our nonsense
Thank you.
and answer questions.
Can I plug a podcast?
That's what I was going to give you the opportunity to do. Please do.
And live show as well.
Yeah, Talk of the Devils is doing a live
Yes.
show in September 4th and September 5th. September 4th in New Century in Manchester, September 5th in
Where is that?
Leicester Square.
Where's New
Theatre.
Century?
New Century is by Sadler's Cat in town by the Stock Exchange.
Oh, right.
Not
okay.
too far from Stock Exchange. So yeah, get some tickets.
Talk of the
Come see
Devils.
us. Talk
so
of the
that's
Devils live
you.
show.
Is that you, Mitten, Laurie, and Ian?
Ian, yep.
was on the other week. We had Laurie on the other week as well. So Andy needs to step up and come back on this channel. So
nice lads.
September the 4th in Manchester. Where do you say in Leicester Square as well?
At Leicester Square Theatre in London on 5th. Manchester, New Century.
That there, London.
Yeah,
Very
yeah, yeah.
impressive, very good.
So please
Make
come
sure
on
you
down.
go and check out The Athletic as well. There's a link in the description.
Yep.
Loads of great articles on there. And the Talk of Devils podcast.
I will
always
do
good
the
stuff.
big sort of here the strikers Manchester United can go shopping for. I will also do the big here are the goalkeepers Manchester United can go shopping
that'd
for.
be a good one.
Those will be things I'll be doing between now and then the next month.
And, also,
And
if-
Lukaku,
If you're also Brazilian,
it's happening.
here's our top 5 things to buy at Greg's.
Yeah, exactly. What are you up to this weekend?
Final game of the season.
Oh.
The battle for
Anything in
like-
play?
yeah. Do we come 6th or 7th?
That's strong.
Decent. That's no.
And then squad night out tomorrow night.
Where are you going?
Habitat.
All right. Okay.
Whole balcony upstairs.
Are you staying there?
Oh,
Why?
If I was to come here, is anyone going to be here?
Yeah. For about 4 hours, yeah.
God.
At least to start with, at least anyway.
Right. Oh, well, I can look forward to that. What else have you got coming up? Can you talk about what that thing I've been seeing being edited is about?
Which one?
Upstairs.
Which one?
The golf one.
Oh, the golf one. Me and Ash Williams went and played. Me and Ash Williams went to a driving range and hit balls with sticks for a bit. I think calling it playing golf is really fucking pushing it.
The
like.
you and Ash Williams thing is just it's amazing.
Top 5 worst video I've ever done.
Like really? What do
Top
you
5
mean?
worst video I've ever
Steve,
done.
we've
I
done
have
some-
not a fucking
honestly.
clue what we talked about.
This is what I mean.
you're really
Like,
saying it.
I think it's
It makes
entertaining.
this
I think
this
it's
podcast
entertaining.
look on topic.
Couldn't tell you what we
when
spoke about,
Them two
though.
are together.
Fair.
Could not
Mate.
tell you what we spoke about. Not a thing.
I didn't have you and Ash Williams becoming bezies on me live bingo, but I'm all about it. I'm here for it.
Someone goes, I'd love to know the story about how you met. And it literally, like, I was sat in the New Year office and he goes, you look like you can drink. And I was like, okay.
He has got a point.
And then I went, I'm going to make you regret that. And then about 4 hours later, he was drinking water. Mission accomplished.
Sure.
That's all you need to know about.
He is a vegan
friendship.
though, so
Oh, well, there you go.
it's a low bar in it.
Right, go and check out the Athletic Talking to Devils podcast and Carl Anka as well. And make sure if you can, you get tickets to that show in Manchester on the 4th of September and in Leicester Square as well. Go and check out Stephen Howson TV and see him hitting balls with sticks with the former Wales captain. You know where to find me as well. This has been The Brew.
Sounds mad when you say it like that.
That's what's happening. We need to get you then, would I lie to you, can't. Big thanks to Surfshark for sponsoring as well. Go and check out the link in the description for that. Thanks for watching.